Good evening and welcome to the 587th episode of Travelwitch Radio. I'm Dan Schlossberg. Roger Noriega is off tonight. We are in the 14th season of Travelwitch Radio, the show that lets you enjoy the pleasures of travel from the comfort of your armchair. Every week at this time, we talk to people representing destinations, hotels, airlines, railroads, car rental companies, and others in the world of travel and hospitality, from authors and bloggers to broadcasters and publicists. If it's got anything to do with travel, it's got everything to do with Travelwitch Radio. Our guest today is Meg Heinen, Director of Media Relations for CityPass. Welcome, Meg, to Travelwitch Radio.
Well, good afternoon, Dan.
Great to
It's
have you on the air.
Hey,
Meg,
it's wonderful
CityPass is
being
a
here.
perfect example of a small-time company that hit the big time. It's a small family-owned company with just 50 employees operating out of a small mountain town in Idaho. So tell us, what is it and how did it get started?
Well, gosh, in a nutshell, I'll try and put it as succinctly as possible. CityPass, what we do is we bundle together attraction tickets at some of the most iconic or popular attractions in some of the major cities in North America. We have 16 in North America, 16 in the US, and then Toronto up in Canada. And once we have that bundled attractions, then we sell that one ticket filled with 5 different tickets, sometimes four, sometimes more. It's usually average of 5 attractions, and they are discounted. And the discounts run anywhere from 32% up to our highest discount of 54% off the normal admission rates you would pay when visiting those attractions individually.
We've had Mike Gallagher as a guest on this show before it became a video cast, but now Travelwitch Radio is big time too with 8 live video outlets. We can't compare to the millions who use CityPass. Since your company began nearly 30 years ago, how many people have used CityPass?
Well, as of the end of 2024, there's been 29 million people who have purchased a City Pass and used them all around the country.
We
So that's
understand you
quite a
have
bit.
17 different programs, including 3 different ticket types in New York and 2 different ticket types in both Seattle and San Francisco. Why is there a choice in those cities?
Well, so first of all, we have actually, I gave you some of that wrong information. I forgot Chicago is one of those. So we started out with a main City Pass product, which was 4 to 7 main attractions in each of the cities. And then we started realizing there were a lot of visitors to these places that were shorter stay visitors, whether they were there on business or laying over for flights or cruises. So we developed or designed our C3 tickets. So New York, Chicago, San Francisco, and Seattle all have an option instead of the main City Pass ticket to buy a C3 ticket. And that's typically 3 attractions out of a list of anywhere from 5 to 10 attractions in the city. We also have 2 different products similar to the C3, which are our Denver City Pass and our Philadelphia City Pass. They both offer purchasers options of visiting 3, 4, or 5 attractions out of a list of 8 to 10 attractions. So they can pretty much, based on their interest, how much time they have, just what they want to see, the ages of the people they're traveling with. They can pick and choose. They don't have to choose all the tickets in the main City Pass product. So they can choose 3, 4, or 5. New York, actually,
Sorry.
excuse me, then one other option, New York, because it's such a big city with so many major attractions, we have a See All product where all 10 attractions that we've coalesced into the one package, there's that option to see all 10. So the main product ticket in New York is our 5 attraction City Pass. Most of the city passes are good for 9 days, beginning with and including that first day of use. The first day the ticket is scanned at an attraction, then the 9-day validity period kicks in. So those C3 products are, designed more for shorter stay visitors to a city who don't have time to or don't want to spend all their time visiting attractions.
Every one of the 17 cities City Pass uses has Major League Baseball, which I love, and that tells you something about the size and scope of what you're doing. The obvious question is, how does City Pass convince major cultural attractions from zoos to museums to offer tickets that usually admit 2 people for the price of 1?
Well, the 2-for-1 is I wouldn't use the terms 2-for-1 with City Pass just because it's not a 2-for-1 program, but the discounts when they're up to 50%, I mean, obviously that correlates or calculates to maybe 2-for-1, 2 admissions to the price of 1. But we don't really use that term because that's a misnomer. But basically, at our core, City Pass is an attraction marketing. It's a win-win situation for attractions and for us. The attractions don't have a lot of budget to use marketing tools like we do. So they utilize our marketing prowess, our website, our advertising. We are helping them get more customers to their sites, and they are helping people with our help with advertising and marketing materials on site to buy City Pass. So the more City Passes that are sold, the more visits they get, obviously, and vice versa. So it's a very symbiotic relationship we have with our attractions. We're very close to them. We work with them throughout the year. We provide marketing materials for them. But basically, in a nutshell, we are an attraction marketing company. We help them, they help us. Everyone's happy, including the consumers who use the tickets.
Is it fair to say City Pass tickets offer something for everyone, from observatories that offer panoramic views, especially in Seattle, to museums of art, history, music, and science that are both educational and entertaining?
Absolutely. There is something pretty much for every age, every interest in each of our programs. Some obviously more than others. Like you mentioned, Seattle has the Space Needle. CN Tower has their CN, or Toronto has their CN Tower. Then there's the Edge and the Empire State Building and the Top of the Rock in New York. So, everyone loves to get those bird's eye views. And let me see, for younger children, they all love aquariums and zoos. So there's typically one of those or 2, if not more, in each of the tickets. Let me see, museums, obviously. Sometimes kids can take or leave the museums, but adults love them. Obviously, art lovers love them. Science lovers love science museums. So yes, pretty much there is something for everyone in every age group.
It's very easy to get around a lot of these cities. For example, here's New Orleans, Canal Street streetcars. New Orleans has streetcars. Other cities do. San Francisco has cable cars, as everybody knows. So it's easy to get around, getting from one attraction to another in any of these cities. By the way, you used to have these booklets that look like this, but you don't do that anymore. Why did you make the change?
Well, I think what precipitated the change, so anyway, let me start again. I think COVID pushed that change faster than we were already transitioning to mobile digital tickets at the time COVID hit. Once COVID hit, no one wanted to have to touch booklets and coupons, plus they're expensive to print and disseminate amongst all the attractions. and digital is the way to go nowadays. So we jumped on that train. We took time during COVID to, most of the attractions had shut down, so we weren't selling. By the way, just with the COVID mention, we did refund, gosh, now I don't remember how many millions of dollars of City Pass tickets that had been purchased. We refunded every single one of them, full refunds, to the purchasers who bought them. But yes, so we transitioned fully to digital. It didn't happen all across the board at once. We took each, city at a time, transitioned them. And COVID also resulted in a lot of attractions demanding or requiring reservations at their attractions. So we had to come up with a plan to work with over 100 of our attractions. They all had different systems in place for reservations. Our IT team had to integrate every single attraction into a particular box where their technology fit with ours. So it's been quite a ride since COVID to get everything digital. We now have an app that also is perfect for the convenience factor with City Pass tickets. All reservations can be made directly through the app, and they are integrated with, again, over 100 of our attractions. So they can manage reservations directly through the app, and it's become fairly seamless. So that's been a great asset to our City Pass tickets.
When I made my comment about it's easy to get around, check this out. This is the Loop in Chicago. Look at these tracks. How do they keep track of what train is going where and when? That's amazing. All crisscrossing tracks in the Loop in Chicago. But it's a great way to get around and inexpensive as well. And if you go to Chicago with City Pass, definitely ride the train. In fact, a little tidbit for those of you that are watching that are baseball fans, the Red Line train in Chicago is the only train line in the country that connects two Major League ballparks on each end. The Chicago Cubs on the north side and the Chicago White Sox on the south side. The Red Line in Chicago connects both of them. There are subways in New York for both ballparks, but you have to change trains. Only in Chicago can you take one train and see both ballparks. And this is Travelwitch Radio with Dan Schlossberg and usually Roger Noriega, though not tonight. We're in our 14th season, approaching our 600th episode, which will be on June 19th. We're live at 5 New York time every Thursday on LinkedIn, YouTube, WhatsApp, X, Twitter, and Facebook, among others. And we're talking City Pass with Meg Heinen. Meg, I'm a big fan of zoos and aquariums. I'm a little kid at heart. And I see San Diego is one of your 17 cities. So can a City Pass user who stays a week see the world-famous San Diego Zoo and the 20 or so other attractions that surround it in Balboa Park?
No. Our City Pass will get ticket holders into San Diego Zoo, but the safari park is not in Balboa Park, but that is also an option, but that's 35 miles northeast in Escondido, I believe. But that is part of the City Pass, but it's not in Balboa Park. So the San Diego Zoo, the most famous zoo in the world, is in Balboa Park, and that's part of our San Diego City Pass. It's also part of our Southern California City Pass, too.
Okay. What I meant to say to the readers, or viewers, I should say, is that there are about 20 other museums right in the vicinity, walking distance of the San Diego Zoo.
Yeah.
So you can spend about a week there just seeing all of those. Maybe more, more than a week.
Yep. Maybe those are on the horizon, one or two of them. I'm not sure, but right now it's just the zoo.
Okay. Many cities have hop-on, hop-off trolley tours. Are any of those included in the discounts provided by City Pass. And how about boat tours in New York and San Francisco, Chicago? I love the architectural boat tour on the Chicago River.
Oh yeah, let me see. I did put a list together, so I might have to read it because I can't remember off the top of my head. But yes, Chicago now has the shoreline architecture tour, and they're the Go Rio River cruise in San Antonio. So those are our two river cruises. But New York, Toronto, most of our cities, except the landlocked, well, Chicago, Houston, Dallas, do not. But most of them do include a harbor tour. Tampa Bay City Pass has a dolphin tour or a sunset tour.
It's a sunset tour if you don't see any dolphins, right?
Exactly, right? I've seen some good pictures of close-up dolphins. Let me see. So the harbor cruises are part of the Boston, New York. New York has two different types of cruises. One is just the ferry ride over to Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. Most people will do that in lieu of the city cruises sightseeing tour of the harbor and around Manhattan. Let me see, what else? Toronto, like I said, Boston, Seattle, they all have harbor cruises. Oh, as does San Francisco. And let me see, San Diego, Philadelphia, and LA both have kind of hop on, hop off buses. But none of ours include those big hop on, hop off buses that you see in some of the larger cities. But there are other options, like Starline Cruise in LA.
Yeah, some of the cities, including this one, Boston, has duck tours, which are amphibious boats, land and sea. Are any of those part of City Pass or no?
Nope, not yet.
Okay, so you're working on it.
I don't know if we're specifically working on that, but we'll see. A lot of attractions will come to us if it's if it works out in various aspects. We look at how many visitors they have. We look at pricing. We look if they could if there's technology will integrate with ours. And that's typically, there's a lot that goes into deciding who we're going to ask to join or who wants to join us. I'm not privy to a lot of that information. I'm not in program management, so but it's a vetting process definitely to get new attractions.
I was just in Philadelphia for the ABA tour, and that Independence Hall, that whole square mile, Independence Square Mile, there were so many attractions there.
Yeah.
Are some of those included in your Philadelphia?
Yes, they are. And if you want, I can tell you Philadelphia has a lot of attractions, so I'd have to cheat and look at my website to see if you're interested in the whole list of Philly. Are you?
I am, because there are so many. They're all walking distance. It's within that one square mile, historic square mile. There's Independence Hall and the Liberty Bell and the Constitution Center. They're all there.
Yeah, so we have the, well, I'm just going to list them because it's easier. We have the Adventure Aquarium, which is in that Independence area, but Franklin Institute, the Philly Zoo, the Big Bus Company, and trolley tours. So that's what I neglected to tell you about, a hop on, hop off venue. Eastern State Penitentiary, Battleship New Jersey, Museum of the American Revolution, Academy of Natural Sciences of Drexel University, National Constitution Center, and the Barnes Foundation. So that's a lot to choose from. So with that Philadelphia City Pass, 3, 4, or 5 attractions works great for that.
The Museum of the American Revolution is relatively new. I loved it. I thought it was fabulous. So if you get to Philadelphia, you must see it. I have
been to Philly. Yep, I saw it. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we need to list all the City Pass cities for our viewers. Obviously, New York, Boston, and Philadelphia in the Northeast. And I'll let you tell what the other ones are.
Okay. Let me see. I'm going to go through them, and I'm bound to forget one or two. Atlanta, Boston, Chicago, Chicago C3, Dallas, Denver, Houston, New York, Philadelphia, Orlando, San Diego, San Antonio, San Francisco, Seattle, Tampa Bay, Toronto, and Southern California. So 17 in all.
California, that encompasses LA, I suppose, and San Diego.
Oh yes, and we just launched our newest product. I'm sorry, our newest product just launched in October, and that's an LA City Pass.
Ah,
And
very nice. Very
yeah,
nice.
and that's great. That includes that's kind of an anomaly too. The way it's set up, visitors can choose Universal Studios Hollywood or Warner Brothers Studios, or they can choose both. And then then they get a choice of 3 other attractions in this list of the Grammy Museum, the La Brea Tar Pits, Los Angeles Zoo and Botanical Gardens, Madame Tussauds Hollywood, the Natural History Museum, SoFi Stadium tours, and the Starline bus tour. So that's our brand new ticket that launched last year.
Many of the stadium tours. Dodger Stadium is the best one.
Ah, have you been to SoFi?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Not the best though, huh?
Well, of the 30 major league cities, I've been to actually all 30 stadiums at the end of last season, but Oakland is no more and Tampa Bay is no more.
Oh, huh.
They're going to play in minor league ballparks this year as they wait for new facilities.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. Okay, since we're talking baseball, Meg, there are 30 major league cities. There are 17 City Pass locations. Are any of the other 13 under consideration, or can't you say?
I cannot say, but we are batting around, pardon the pun. One city that does have a major league baseball team, but again, I am not privy to say that. I will let you know, or let your listeners know, that we won't be starting any new programs in 2025. We're just trying to concentrate on conquering our tech debt, so to call it. So nothing is on the horizon for this year, but that's not saying we're not looking for we're not looking for anything. We're always on the lookout. Attractions are always coming to us, wanting to be a part of us. And yeah, just nothing new for 2025.
The obvious one that I looked for and didn't see, Washington, D.C.
Yeah, well, Washington is every museum and monument is free, so it just doesn't make sense to do DC.
This is true. And Las Vegas, which I also did not see on your list, has all the attractions you go to the real attraction, like the Statue of Liberty. It's all in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's all there. Vegas has it all.
Okay. The City Pass. Oh, let me ask you this one. City Pass has an obvious mission, which is to remove the stress of planning and researching, and it provides users with a quick, easy, affordable way to see multiple attractions and save money at the same time. Do any of your admission tickets have restrictions on them, like seasonal limits?
Nope. No blackout dates, no seasonal limits. The only limits there would be is, sometimes during the holidays in New York or spring break down in Tampa or the warmer climates, the attractions will start to get busy. So that's when maybe you'd have to wait in line. But if you already have a City Pass ticket, you typically do not have to wait in those lines. So the only restrictions would be if the attractions were really busy and you did not make reservations or you waited in line to buy a ticket. So
No age limits, like minimum age, anything minimum age at all?
Each each city has different age requirements. For instance, I believe I did write some of these down. Yeah, so New York, the child age limit ranges from 6 to 17. So over the age of 17, you have to buy an adult ticket. And every attraction has their own age sets, and so the city pass they'll all negotiate. Every included attraction will negotiate what we are going to sell as a child ticket and an adult ticket. um, Chicago, the child age range is anywhere from 3 to 11 age years old, and then LA is 5 to 9, and that's because that has the major theme parks there, and they always have those lower age ranges.
And don't you think that maybe with spring break as consideration, it should say no college students on some of the tickets? We won't mention any
Well,
cities, but you know what
I
I
just
mean.
don't think that would be a good business move for our attractions or for us, Dan.
I know, I know. Okay, what about theme parks? Obviously, if Orlando is one of your client destinations, are there other theme parks included too, or what?
Well, Orlando is almost all theme parks with the exception of the Kennedy Space Center, which was added last fall. But yeah, that Orlando is Disney World, Universal Studios, Orlando, Legoland. Kind of the same with Southern California is Disneyland, Legoland, SeaWorld. Oh, SeaWorld is in Orlando, as well as it's in the San Diego and the Southern California City Pass. That's a theme park. So yeah, there's theme parks, but they tend to be in Orlando, Southern California area. Tampa Bay is Busch Gardens.
When you mentioned Tampa Bay earlier, you said something about seeing dolphins, but I think you need a space capsule for that, right?
Yeah.
That's being up on the news a little bit. Okay, we're talking City Pass with Meg Heinen. If an individual wants to make maximum mileage for minimum time, City Pass feels a real void for them, right? Because they don't have to do any research, any planning. It's right there in front of them. Does the City Pass, when they get the City Pass tickets, is there like a map connected to it or no? A local map?
Yeah. Well, what we do in our app, so all this information can be found on our website, but that's not
Okay.
really conducive when you're walking around a city. So
Right.
that's where the app comes in. So
Right.
the tickets, you buy your tickets, they go to your email address. That email links the tickets to either the web version of the app or the actual app you can download to your phone. And in the app, you're linking the tickets. You see what each attraction is. You see the entry instructions. You see whether they require reservations or not. If they require reservations, you make the reservations directly via the app. You get the confirmation to your email in the app. There's maps and there's suggestions. Sometimes you'll get notifications saying, hey, your reservation at the 9/11 Memorial and Museum is in a half an hour. You need to get there, so that it allows notifications, push notifications. So the app is like you can't get much more convenient than using the app.
Was City Pass the first American firm to offer reduced admission to the most iconic attractions in each of the cities it serves?
It was started in 1997. As you mentioned, Mike Gallagher before and Mike Morey, they started the business. And so 1997, they launched San Francisco and Seattle. Boston followed soon after that. And then the rest of the cities came on board, the last 20 years, we've been adding them.
An obvious question here is where can people purchase City Pass? Can they order it online or from the hotel concierge where they're staying or where?
Our main avenue, I believe, is our website, citypass.com. tickets can also be sold either physical cards at each of the attractions. So they, if they go to a city and they've never heard of City Pass, they're going to see signage at some of the attractions, and they can choose to just buy a single attraction ticket, for instance, to the Empire State Building, or they can buy a City Pass off of a kiosk there, or they can buy the card there, or they, sometimes we do have third-party sellers and affiliate sales. So other people are selling our product. Sometimes concierges, oh, excuse me, people who work at hotels will often either suggest, or the hotel itself is an affiliate. So when they sell our ticket, they may earn a commission on that ticket. So we sell in multiple arenas, but our main avenue would be our citypass.com website.
We're talking City Pass with Meg Heinen. At the start, how did City Pass get publicity and convince travelers to try it?
Well, back in 1997, there really wasn't the worldwide interweb, so it was just basic standard public relations at that time. But it was also, we got a lot of publicity from the attractions themselves. So, we helped them teach them maybe how to attract their own visitors. But because Mike Morey at the time, so one of the owners, he had his own marketing and research firm, and he and Mike Gallagher, they were both in the travel industry way back when, and they were actually both on, I think it was Visit California's board of directors at the same time, and that's kind of how they connected. And they utilized each other's attraction and tourism expertise, one in more marketing and one in operations. And then they came up with the idea of a City Pass. And yeah, that's kind of how it began. And so it started out low level, just publicity. And then we started helping the attractions. The more notoriety or presence we gained in the marketplace, that meant the attractions were gaining more presence. And then they recognized that how much City Pass was helping them. And so, people seek us out because it's definitely a mutual beneficial, like I mentioned earlier, symbiotic relationship. And we're just helping them market themselves. We want more people visiting their attractions. It's only going to help. It's going to help. It's a win-win situation for both of us.
You use City Pass yourself, perhaps as a guinea pig to test new products or participants?
I do. I have not used them all, but as a matter of fact, just this is a side note, and I don't want to take up too much of your time, but after City Pass, Mike Morey had moved to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and now our offices are right across Teton Pass, the Teton Mountain Range in Victor, Idaho, which is just like 25 miles from Jackson. Anyway, I was working at an ad agency in Jackson when City Pass was just starting, and we worked on their logo, and I got married in 1997, and as my wedding gift, they gave us San Francisco City Pass booklets. So, yeah, so I've been to San Diego, San Francisco, Seattle, did I say San Diego? New York a few times, San Antonio, and so I'll get to see the rest as the longer I'm here, the more I'll travel to them and visit, see how it works.
Chicago is in the
Oh, Chicago is the next one. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Now the City Pass is established, do prospective new cities come to you, or do you still have to go to them, or both?
It's a little of both. I mean, we field a lot of inquiries from a wide range of attractions wanting to join us. When I get those, I direct them to the proper person for vetting and reviewing and analysis and everything. So, but yeah, mostly they come to us. I think if we've decided on a city that we might want to venture into, then we might do more outreach. But currently, it's probably 50. No, I would probably say, well, I don't even know. I won't even say anything.
Okay. How can Travel Itch Radio viewers learn more about CityPass?
Well, the best way to do it is just go to our website. It's very consumer forward. It's easy to read, navigate, citypass.com. It's that's about it. Or just pay attention, and when you're in a city, one of our cities, just look around and you'll see a lot of CityPass signage at the attractions anyway.
Meg Heinen, Director of Media Relations for CityPass. Thank you, Meg, for being our guest on Travel Itch Radio.
Hey, you're welcome, Dan. Looking forward to seeing you in Chicago.
Very definitely. Thank you.
All right.
And viewers, with spring training exhibition baseball winding down, this is your chance to share the excitement of the new season. With my latest baseball biography, Home Run King, The Remarkable Record of Hank Aaron, featuring a foreword by Dusty Baker, this 265-page hardcover explores Aaron's contributions as a home run hitter on and off the field, as an athlete and as an advocate for civil rights. That's Home Run King, The Remarkable Record of Hank Aaron. Get it today on Amazon.com. And that's it for this edition of Travel Itch Radio. This is Dan Schlossberg speaking also for the absent Roger Noriega, saying thank you for your time this time until next time. And next time, our guest will be Jackie Parker talking about Fort Myers, Florida. Hope to see you then. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Good evening and stay safe.